Aloha kakahiyaka, my friends, and thanks for coming back. If it's your first time out, please like the video, hit that sub button if you haven't already. And if you have questions, comments, or suggestions for anything you want to see on the channel in the future, hit me up on Instagram. I have my personal one there, and I also have a gun-centric one right here. If you write me on either one of these two guys, I'll do my very best to get back to you folks. If you want to support the channel further, the Patreon link's in the description of this video. Everything that goes to Patreon comes 100% back to the channel so that I can grow it. And I talk about all the time, I really want to be able to do giveaways and contests and all kinds of cool stuff, you know, like the real gun tubers do. But before we get there, we gotta get there. So today is going to be my top 5 upgrades for the IWI TS12. And for all you internet RSOs out there, this is clear and safe. I checked it before I started this video, but we're going to start at number 5, which in my opinion doesn't do much, and we're going to work our way up to number 1, which in my experience really it changed the way that I run this gun, and it's pretty awesome. So we're going to go from number 5, work our way up to number 1. If you folks haven't seen my initial review for the TS12, we'll go ahead and link that guy in this little box up here. But I'm 10,000 rounds through this, and I'm working on my long review. It's going to be a long video where I go in super deep and tell you folks my entire experience over 10,000 rounds, what I like about it, things to be aware of, what loads worked in it, what was a little bit more temperamental, how I run the gun, and just go super deep. But before we get there, we're here, and it's my top 5 accessories for the IWI TS12, starting with number 5. So this gets the most questions out of everything that's on this gun. People are always asking me on YouTube, always writing me on Instagram, Facebook, what is the muzzle device you have on your gun? And all of these items I'm gonna put, when I edit this video, I'm gonna put how much they cost and stuff, because I've had this gun for 2 years or so. I don't remember how much everything is exactly, but this is from Carlson's, and it's their tactical breacher choke, and it's for breaching doors. So I don't know how many doors you folks are breaching in your day-to-day lives. I don't know, it's the internet, so maybe plenty of you are breaching doors all the time. This is a breaching choke from Carlson's. You folks can see that there's teeth cut into the front of it. This is to keep your shotgun from moving around and sliding. When you press it into the door frame and you turn your head to blow the door, it's not going to move. There's also a puka cut in here to vent the gases, because you are occluding the barrel a little bit when you're pressing it up against the surface. So truth be told, this is more to look cool than anything else, and there's definitely points to be made in looking cool, because as we all know, looking cool is the #1 most important thing behind being safe and efficient with your gun. So this does make your gun look cool, I think so anyway. There's a little bit of a functional plus to this, in that it is an improved cylinder choke. I have a tendency to go off on tangents and stuff, so I'm gonna do a separate video on chokes and patterning your shotgun and stuff. But this being an improved cylinder choke allows my shot spread to stay a little bit tighter for a little bit further, and it also allows me to shoot any kind of slugs through it without worrying about damaging the choke or damaging the barrel or anything, because it's too constricted. So this is an improved cylinder choke, and it does have that going for it. People ask me all the time too, if, you know, does this help with the recoil and all that stuff. So the TS12 inherently is very soft shooting for a 12 gauge shotgun, but this isn't a break. So there's the smallest amount of recoil mitigation that I can kind of feel on certain loads, but really it doesn't do much besides looking cool, and it does keep your shot tighter for further and everything that I talked about before. I mean, it's pointy, so it probably wouldn't feel good if you get knocked in the face with it. You could use it to, you know, muzzle punch a zombie when you're clearing your house, because that's totally practical and realistic. So yeah, I'll give you guys that. So at number 5 is from Carlson's, and it's their tactical breacher choke. So moving on to number 4. This guy's number 4 just because it's not specific for the TS12, but it's something that I really fell in love with, and I have it on several of my guns now. So if you folks look at the muzzle end of my firearm here, you folks can see on the M-LOK section, I have this Modbutton by Modlite connected to my Surefire Mini Scout. So I usually use Surefire pressure pads. I really like them. They work for me for a long time. And with the TS12 is that it does have M-LOK and it works, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of in a weird place. There's not a lot of real estate because your gas adjustment's back here, and there's not a lot of room. So you really got to be cognizant about using your space efficiently when you set this guy up. And sad story, I wasn't able to use my pressure pad because I just couldn't mount it here in a place where I could use it. So I went looking around and I came to this. It is momentary only, so that's something to, you know, keep in mind if that's a deal breaker for you folks. It comes with the pick rail attachment, and you got to pay extra for the M-lock attachment. It's only $2, but full disclosure, that's an extra something that you're gonna have to pick up. It's plenty durable, it's nice and slim, it's ergonomic, it feels good in the hand, it doesn't turn on when I don't want it to, and it works. It's robust. I'm not worried about breaking it. So at number 4, again, just because it's not specific for the TS12, is the Modbutton from Modlite. So smashing through this list, we're on to number 3. If we move back to the rear end of the firearm, you folks can see the charging handle here. So this guy is not the stock charging handle. This is from Manticore Arms, and this is their Knurled charging handle. I'm just gonna call it the Manticore Arms charging handle. Just like everything else about this gun, out of the box, everything's good to go. I gotta tell you guys that. I don't wanna be telling you folks about all this stuff and having you folks feel like, oh, I gotta get this and that to be able to run the gun. It's good to go out of the box. This isn't like the CZ Scorpion where you gotta change the safety selector because it sucks. Everything's good to go. But this is the stock charging handle in this hand here. This is the Manticore Arms one. You can see that the stock one is much shorter, it's more slim, and it works. At around the 600 round mark with my TS12 after I clean it, and again, I have a sample size of 1, but consistently around 600 rounds or so, I tend to have failures to eject because it gets dirty, and that's a consideration with this, guys. You got to keep it clean. You got to maintain it pretty regularly. So I was clearing a lot of malfunctions, and I wanted to be able to, just because I was doing it so much, I wanted something that was kind of easier to find, and just felt better in my hand because I was going up to the charging handle a lot. And that's how I ended up on the charging handle from Manticore Arms. So it's longer than the stock one. It's a bit more girthy, and it has stippling on it. It has a nice tactile feel, and you can get a good purchase on it. It's not so long that it's gonna get stuck on your sling or caught in your clothes. It's right in that Goldilocks zone where it gives you more than the stock one, but it's not too much. It really shines when you're doing slug changes. So coming in at a solid number 3 is the Knurled charging handle from Manticore Arms. Yeah, moving to the back of the gun, we have another Manticore Arms special. So you folks can see here, this is the curved butt pad by Manticore Arms. This is not a game changer, but it's a big difference. You can definitely feel the difference when you mount this to your shoulder. So I really like, there's ribbing on the back, there's ribs to keep it from sliding around. There's a little bit more, grip than the stock one here. So it keeps it from sliding around. I really like to use the heel of it to put it into the pocket of my shoulder, and then my presentation is always the same. So it's a real good indexing point, and it's nice. It's really good. I really like this, and I would highly recommend this to you folks here. One thing to keep in mind with it though is that you're not able to take this down in the field without a punch or a tool. So the standard one, the stock one that comes with the TS12, the button's easily accessible with your finger. If for some reason you have fat Polynesian fingers and you cannot get to it, you can use the charging handle as a punch, and you can take down your gun in the field without any other tools. For some reason, this butt pad by Manticore Arms has the button recessed down into the butt pad, and you're not able to get it with the charging handle or your finger. So you gotta get a punch or something to take it down. So if that's a deal breaker for you folks, that's, I just want to let you guys know everything about all these things. So that's the curved butt pad by Manticore Arms, coming in at a solid number 2. So the number 1 upgrade for the IWI TS12 are these guys here. These are Esstac shotgun cards. They come in capacities of 2 rounds all the way up to 7. This is a 5-round card. I chose 5 rounds because it fits perfectly on my receiver, just like this. And your tube only fits 5 rounds anyway of 2 3/4 inch shells. I was kind of a little hesitant because it's elastic. So it's mil-spec elastic, which I don't really know what that means, but it's mil-spec, so it must be good, right? Okay, but the cool thing about these guys is that they're affordable. They're about $10 to $14, I think, for a card. The elastic retains your shells really, really well. I was worried about them sliding out, slipping around, falling out, but they don't. There's no way that these are gonna come out at all. Like, you can sit here and shake them as much as you want, and these aren't gonna move. They don't even move. So they retain your shells well. The Velcro is very, very strong. The loop side of the Velcro sticks onto your receiver with adhesive, and I again was kind of like, oh, that's not gonna work. But being in the mud, being in the dirt, this hasn't come off at all. And if it does, just put another one. It's cheap. Just buy another one. So the Velcro is plenty strong. You can stick this on here and it holds your gun. Like, this is pretty nuts. So the Velcro's good. It's also really cool because you're able to stick this into M4 mag pouches, and when you run empty, you can just rip them off, grab another one out of your pouch and stick it on, and you just keep running your gun. So this is something that really changed how I run my TS12. I kind of run this more, you know, just using my standard stuff, not a specific kit for shotguns. I have my mag pouches that I would use my AR. I have the same belt, my same carrier and everything. Yeah, do you really need more ammo with the TS12? That's totally up to you. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. You have 15 rounds of 2 3/4 inch shells and 12 rounds of 3-inch shells plus one more if you ghost load it. So do you really need the extra ammo? It's up to you. But I really like this. I'm able to carry extra ammo on my gun. This is a separate video I'm going to talk about how I run it, but I carry my slugs on my right side. I have my extra buck on my left side, and I'm able to do all my slug changes right here, pulling my bolt back, throwing my slug in. It does add more weight to your gun, obviously, because you're carrying more shells on it. And this gun is 8 to 9 pounds unloaded, so it is hefty. But I know a lot of people tell me, a lot of people have been in the comments, oh, the gun is so heavy, it sucks, whatever. Like, try it first before you start talking smack about it. Because it's a bullpup, it's closer to your body, and even with all this extra weight, all these shells, and if it's fully loaded, like, it is heavy, but it's closer to your body, and it's real fast pointing. This is a fast gun, it's fast pointing, it's very lively, and it's easy to hold with one hand. Like, you can sit here and hold it, you can load it, do everything you got to do. You can shoot it one-handed because the center of gravity is back. It's less fatiguing, and it feels much lighter than it actually is. Like, true story. And I'm not some shill for IWI. Like, I bought this with my own money, and yeah, so it's good. Esstac shotgun cards, true game changer. Go ahead and check out my slug change update because I came up with a much better way to do it than before. My old video sucks, don't even watch it. So that's coming down the pipe. I got my long review coming down the pipe, but that was my top 5 upgrades for the IWI TS12. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Ahui ho.